Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Shemi outside by Shimra Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone that rule and teach well. That taught us is 100% truth, nothing but the truth. You know what I'm saying? And peace and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of this earth, risking their lives each and every week to bring the truth out, to wake up the elect in the 1/3 on the highways and the byways, and to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification. Coming with another lesson, and this lesson is entitled, All They Do Is Lie. The truth is not in them. So when I say the truth is not in them, pretty much I wanted to make this video because if you look at it, you know what I'm saying, basically when you look at your parents and your parents before that, your granddad, your grandfather, your grandmother, then your mother and father, and then it just trickles down from generation after generation. All we have learned was just lies, man. But those lies that we learned, the world look at them like it's not lies. It's basically, a form of way of living that we supposed to live, you know what I'm saying? Or the things that we receive, which was lies, they're trying to say that's the norm. It's okay, you know what I'm saying? And that was pretty much, man, basically from the time you a toddler up until you like a grown person, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at it, you still, living in lies to this day, you know what I'm saying? And I could tell you one of the lies that, they push so much was when, like, say when you was little, they push that tooth fairy bull crap, you know what I'm saying? Talking about it's a coin underneath your pillow, you know what I'm saying? The tooth fairy is gonna come and put a coin on your pillow. Now go to sleep, you know what I'm saying? So, when you're a little kid, you hear this and you like, okay, and you believe it, but you don't realize as you got older, man, it's a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you just tell me you pulled my damn tooth? But you don't want to put the damn quarter underneath my pillow. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when we woke up to this truth, as a Hebrew Israelite, we repented and came back to the Most High. We supposed to tear out on those strongholds. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to get rid of those lies. So when we teach our kids, we tell them, you know what I'm saying, the truth. You know what I'm saying? We don't, push that on them so then they can think that that's you know what I'm saying, not a lie. You know what I'm saying? When it is a lie. And let's go, to Psalms 58 and 1. You know what I'm saying? Slaki 58 and 2. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Yeah. So when you read the scripture, you know what I'm saying, Esau is the wicked. And that violent man, the Bible is speaking about, you know what I'm saying? Verse 3, and the wicked are estranged from the womb, and that's the point, and they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, you know what I'm saying? And this is what the Edomites do, you know what I'm saying? This is what they do, you know what I'm saying? And like I was explaining in the very beginning of the video, this is one of the things how they operated, and they just kept on, and then your parents or your grandparents passed it on to your parents, and then you just keep passing it down, you know what I'm saying? Until it just becomes a norm, you know what I'm saying? It's natural, you know. But when you look, when you find out, you know that it's a bunch of bull crap, It's lies, you know what I'm saying? Same, what's another one? Another one will be when your kids start going to school, you know what I'm saying? Like at a young age, maybe 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old. What they teaching your toddler? They teaching them about Easter, you know what I'm saying? A bunny rabbit laying eggs. Don't no bunny rabbit lay eggs. So that's another lie, you know what I'm saying? You know? Just the concept, you know what I'm saying? When you tell your kid that, how did your day go? Oh yeah, Dad, we found Easter eggs. The bunny rabbit laid Easter eggs, and we went and hid them. You know what I'm saying? But if you speak down about that and you tell your kid, the real deal, the truth, now you get looked at funny. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's basically a pagan day. You know what I'm saying? Easter, which don't have nothing to do with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? You know, which they try to say this has something to do with the Bible, but it don't. You know, it's nothing but a lie. You know what I'm saying? And that's what our people do. Our people will just go ahead and believe a lie instead of just going ahead and telling your kid, man, the real deal. You know, it does not have anything to do with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And basically that's a pagan god. You know, that's worshiping a pagan god. You know what I'm saying? Ishtar. You know, so why would you allow your toddler or your teenager, you know what I'm saying, to be able to say that's okay to believe? And like I say again, that's all they do is lie. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's all. Pretty much most of us, you know what I'm saying, and it's truth. That's what we did. We just inherited lies. But now the elect has woken up to this truth. You know? Yeah. And what's another thing they do? They pretty much, when you go to middle school and high school, they teach you about, history, you know what I'm saying? So-called white people, you know what I'm saying? They're telling you his story. They're telling his story, you know what I'm saying? Which you learned, you learn about the Greeks and the Romans, which, that's in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? But they're not telling you the truth about the Greeks and the Romans, Slocky. So Esau, he's crafty, you know what I'm saying? He draws you in, and that's how he did when we was in school. He only gonna tell you that the Greeks and the Romans, you know what I'm saying, were mighty. And, he doesn't give you the full story, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to Psalms chapter 10, verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Yeah. So you see, over the years, you know what I'm saying, Esau has, done nothing but push his witchcraft, you know what I'm saying? His mouth, which is nothing but cursing and deceit and fraud. And that's how he operates, you know what I'm saying? And what he has done is he has mentally, messed up Jake's mind, you know what I'm saying? Jake and Eve mind, you know what I'm saying, over the time. So now we have been westernized, you know what I'm saying? And we really forgetting what we really is here for, you know what I'm saying? We on punishment to come back to Yahweh Shem Shai and repent so we can get out of this captivity that we're in. But what would we rather do, you know what I'm saying? Jake and Eve, they would rather just, you know what I'm saying? And when I say Jake, that's the man of the 12 tribes of Israel, the southern and the northern. And also, Eve, you know what I'm saying? The southern and the northern, women, you know what I'm saying? And that's all we have learned, you know what I'm saying? was nothing but lies. And what those lies do, they control your mind. That's how Esau operates. That's one of his pseudoscience, his witchcraft that he does. And he starts that at a young age, like I was mentioning, you know what I'm saying? So those are just some of the things that our people have learned, you know what I'm saying? The Easter, you know what I'm saying? The bunny rabbits, the tooth fairy, you know what I'm saying? You know? And like I said again, you know, we've learned those things over time, you know. So now it's best for us to push this truth out, so we can receive the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying, through Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, and come back and renew our mind, you know what I'm saying, because we have to renew our mind every day. That's an important thing. But what our people would like to do is they like to stay in this rut, you know what I'm saying, that we're in, you know. So it's been nothing but lies pushed on our people. One of the biggest lies is coming up soon, you know what I'm saying, which will be this pagan Christmas, you know what I'm saying, you know, saying that the Most High birthday is on December 25th, when which his name is not Jesus, you know what I'm saying, it's Yahweh Shai, he saves, in the Paleo Hebrew. So this pagan day that, you know, Esau has pushed, you know what I'm saying, which they can celebrate, you know, but our people don't, which they have pushed throughout the whole entire world, saying that, you know, Yahweh Shai was born on that day, which he was born in the springtime. He never even celebrated his birthday, you know what I'm saying? So these people is bugged out in delusion. He never did that. Only wicked men in the Bible celebrated their birthdays. So, you know, our people is gone, but now our people are starting to wake up, you know what I'm saying? They're starting to wake up. And one of the lies that they posterized throughout the world was saying that Jesus, you know, is white. You know what I'm saying? The angels is white. But we all know he's not from Middle Eastern either. That's a direction. So he's not no Arab. No. Arabs don't have woolly hair. So you can go in with that semantics. You know what I'm saying? You can go with those lies, making movies, you know, trying to fit the Arabs' description now, or they look, when they know he was a so-called black man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to that. Revelations chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, and that Son of Man is Yahweh Shai. You know? So you know how these people operate. They operate by lies, you know what I'm saying? You know, they good at, you know, telling number lies, you know what I'm saying? And this is one of the most wickedest lies that they ever told, you know what I'm saying? Blaspheming the Most High. You know, Yahweh Shai, blaspheming the Most High Son, you know what I'm saying? You know? And they're going to have to pay for that, for doing that, you know what I'm saying? So they know what they did, and they know the things that they did was wrong, you know what I'm saying? Let me do that from the top again. Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot. Yeah. So this is like how the scoffers be doing. They be saying, "Oh, you got dresses on. Y'all got dresses on." But no, this is what the ancient, back in the ancient times, what our forefathers wore. You know what I'm saying? They wore a garment down to the foot. You know what I'm saying? You know, and girdle about the paths with a golden girdle. So he, you know, like those wrestlers had a golden girdle on there. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what that's describing. Verse 14, and his head and his hairs were white like wool. Yeah. You know, it says white. You know, that was the texture was wool and it was white. You know what I'm saying? As snow. So, you know, who has woolly hair on the earth? You know what I'm saying? Do the elimination. I mean, eliminate, you know, that's strike one. Because they said When you look at the picture that they brought up, he had stringy hair and it wasn't white like wool. So no one else no one else does but the so-called black people. You know what I'm saying? And like I said again, he was not Middle Eastern. That's a direction. That's not a nationality. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. Yeah, because I think that was his first miracle that he did, which is in Genesis 49 verse 12. You know what I'm saying? And when our people drink wine, their eyes turn red. You know what I'm saying? The pupils, their eyes turn red. So yeah. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass. Yeah. And what's fine brass? It's pretty much like a penny, you know what I'm saying? That brown, that copper, you know. So he wasn't no so-called white man. So they can stop, pushing that, because that's what they love. They love, pushing that, or they love pushing and saying that he's from, Middle Eastern. He's he's an Arab, let me read that back from the top again. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace. Yeah. So if you throw anything in the furnace, what is going to come out looking like? Like, if you burn popcorn, it's going to come out black. You know what I'm saying? So Yahushua was a so-called black man. He was not no pale-faced so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said that's all they do is tell lies. So from the time you little to the time you grow up and be a grown person, all you have heard is lies. But their lies is saying that it's the truth, but it's lies. Because if you technically look at it, so-called white man doesn't have no heritage. All they do is rape, rob, and steal other people's heritage. That's our heritage, not the small hats. You know what I'm saying? We are the true Hebrew Israelites. You know what I'm saying? We are not no so-called white people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we pushing this truth out on the four corners of the earth to pull down these strongholds. Like I said again, and this is what the devil do. You know what I'm saying? You see, all he's been doing is telling us and teaching our kids number lies. And when you go into the school system, that's what you're gonna receive. You know what I'm saying? And all it has done is mess our people's mind up. You know what I'm saying? Bug them out. But this should vex you over time. You know what I'm saying? It should make you real mad. And even Daniel 7:9, the Most High, he said, if you see me, you see my Father. So, hey, he looks like his father. That's Daniel 7:9. Let me get that real quick. Yeah. Let me read that. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days, and who's the Ancient of Days? That's the Most High, did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. So see right there, that's a straight cut. And his throne was like fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. So, hey, that's a so-called black man. That's the Most High, the Father, which we say, what is it? He is, he to be, and Yahushua, he saves. So, and it's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? So, what are they talking about? And that's Yahweh. He is, he to be, Bashim, in the name, and Yahushua, he saves. So what these people is bugged out. You thinking that it's a pale so-called white man is the savior, gonna come back and save us, gonna come back and is gonna save us, but he put us into captivity and oppressed our people? What the hell? That's why I say don't never trust our enemy. And that's what we've been doing. We've been trusting our enemy all through our lives. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have been doing. And let's go to that. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. Yeah. So like I say again, never trust our enemy, you know what I'm saying? Because what he has done is polluted the minds of our people all our lives, you know what I'm saying? You know? And now we realize we're free from all that, you know what I'm saying? We're free from being, messed up in the mind, especially here in Babylon the Great, aka America. You know what I'm saying? The Most High has set us free. And that's why I said you never trust our enemy, because that's what he has done from day one. Soon you have a baby, and here in Babylon, all they're trying to do is to get their minds so they can mold them to where they want them to be. And what they're teaching them number lies, because that's all we have learned. All lies. You know what I'm saying? And Esau is going to pay for that. He has a judgment coming from that. That's why I say there's no truth in him. But we're free from that. And I'm going to get that, and I'm going to lean on that. That's going to be the last one. John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye should know the truth. Yeah, because we know the truth now. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is in these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You know? He said, my sheep will hear my voice. And that's the elect, and the 1/3. You know what I'm saying? Receiving this truth through the power of Yahweh by Shem Shai, waking up throughout the four corners of this earth. You know what I'm saying? And the truth should make you free. Yeah. So that's why I say we free. We free from all these lies that have been promoted in Babylon the Great, has clouded our minds. But now our minds are not cloudy no more. You know? We're free from this wicked, kingdom, queendom. That's what it's called. You know what I'm saying? And all I can say is, if you listening to these videos and you receiving this truth, and it doesn't matter what, it doesn't go by skin color, it go by the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because some of our people going to look like Chinese people, some of our people going to look like Japanese people, some of our people going to look like so-called white people. You know what I'm saying? Even Hamites, Africans, you know what I'm saying? But they're going to be our people. They're going to have the spirit of our people, you know what I'm saying? You know? So if you recognize, if you pretty much can receive this truth, and you resonate with this truth, then you possible Israelite. So, and the best thing I can say is to come out of these lies, that has been taught to our people. And that's what we've been doing. We've been pushing this truth to wake up the elect, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The 12 tribes of Israel, we the true people of the Bible. So I just want to end on that. I want to say, call Allah, Yahweh Bashem Shai Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone that rule and teach well, taught us this truth, nothing but the 100% truth. Peace and safe salutations to the Akim on the four corners, risking their lives each and every week on the highways and the byways. And to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification, come with another lesson. This is your brother Dawadah. Shalom.